Hello, today I'm going to show you how you can create a great review activity or even a homework activity called problem trains or dominoes. I actually got this inspiration from Mr. Jim Tousell, who came to our school to present on ways to build vocabulary knowledge in our students, and he used vocabulary trains to help with that. So, what I love about problem trains is that not only can you use them to build fluency with your students, you can definitely put word problems or use it as a mixed review at the end of the unit. I've also used these as part of a math station where they can either work on them individually or they can do it with a partner. What's nice about if they do it with a partner, you'll be able to see that I'll leave space so they can actually show their work. And that way they can also teach their partner and do it like a self-check. For homework, I love using these. I print them out. I'm going to show you how you can print them out in the grid view and, send them home with your students. And you can also laminate them for students to show work. They're really, really great because they're very much self-checking, so you don't have to do a lot of legwork and like having to collect and grade. So let's take a look at a couple examples and then we'll show you how to make some. So this is one I use for sixth grade. It's matching least common multiple. As you can see, I'm in the grid view right now. To get to that grid view, you just go into view and grid view and you can see. I try not to do more than 20 slides because after a while it gets a little cumbersome. But you'll definitely start with a start box and then you'll have a finish box. And the left-hand side is the answer and the right-hand side is the problem. So here's another one that I did for sixth grade as well. The goal of this train was to just have them focus on when they would apply their knowledge about perimeter, area, and volume. And you can see that there's just a mixture of questions where there's, obviously graphics, very, one-step problems, and then there's a couple of two-step problems. You can see that I added graphs in there. So they actually have to apply their knowledge of coordinates on the plane and some word problems. Let's take a look at how you would create one. So you go into Google Slides and you'll basically click a text box and you'll create a text box. I changed the thickness so it's a little bit thicker so it's visible. And then of course I resize my font. You're going to have the first one be your start. And then you duplicate your slide. And today we're going to have a problem about Tomas. Tomas is making his mom a jewelry box with the tile mosaics on the side and the top. The box measures 10 inches long, 8 inches wide, and 5 inches tall. He covers the top of the box and sides with 1-inch square tiles. How many tiles will he need? So I have my problem, I resized it, but I'm leaving a little bit of space so that students can show their work. And on the next slide, you'll want to put your answer. So it's 260 tiles. And not that I would put another tile question right after it. I might actually put it somewhere in another slide in a different order, just so they have to just pay attention to the fact that it's not going to be everything's tiles. But for the example today, it's another tile question. So we have Sarah's laying square tile in her bathroom. The blueprint of her bathroom shows dimensions of 7 centimeters by 12 centimeters. The blueprint has a scale of 2 centimeters to 1.5 feet. Each square tile is 3/4 of a foot. I'll have to change that really quick. How many tiles will she need to cover the floor? And then if we go to our next slide, on the left-hand side, the answer is 84 tiles. So that's just an example of how you can easily set them up. And again, try to limit to less than 20 slides. You'll know based on your students' abilities what the level is. So just to kind of explain how you can use it, I've printed these out. So I've gone to print and just done the slides as is and laminated them. So they're the bigger ones. And, they kind of take up the room of the whole floor. But if you want to do something a little bit smaller scale, here's another example I have. I went into my file in my print settings, and I actually did it where I did the handout of 6 slides per page. Now, if this one is in Works, But if this one was finished, I'd make sure I mix them up. So like I would have it so the students then can cut them out and then they can lay them across their desk, or glue them to a piece of construction paper in the order that they should be. The other thing to note is before you mix them up, and the way to do that is you can go into, again, you can go into your grid view and you just kind of move them around and you put them in a different order. And do that several times. But before you do that, make sure you print one out with your answer key. Otherwise, you'll have to redo your problems to match them. So it's just a really great way to get a bunch of different types of problems that the students will see, use it as review for the end of the unit. The kids are usually very engaged with this because, it's something that they can do with a partner, and it's different than just solving a bunch of word problems on a piece of paper, even though that's really what they're doing. So hopefully this was a little helpful tutorial for you. You can use them for more than just math. You can use them for all sorts of science vocabulary content. You can use them for fact recall, definitely for math fluency. So hopefully this was helpful and you will start using trains and dominoes in your classroom.